I admire the Hurds, the Buckleys, the Carey and his peak and Boss and those guys. That rarely do they play a bad game. It's probably harder at full forward because it does get tough sometimes. But yeah, probably just the consistency. I'd love to, I don't know, I still feel I can take the next step as a player.
Everyone's talking, Lloydie, about this being one of the great teams of all time. If you do win back-to-back flags, would you concede then that you are up with the best of them?
Yeah, probably. Sheeds has said with the group of players we've got that probably one premiership probably isn't enough, and I probably, I heard that talk about us at the end of last year as one of the best ever, and you can't really say that. I look at the Hawthorn of the 80s and obviously Essendon of the 80s and
Collingwood of the 90s.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know about that one. But
lucky soil. Oh yeah, you're a start boy.
But
we still got.
But obviously, obviously in 6 weeks' time, a lot can be happen then.
Matthew Lloyd speaking to us on Footy Focus a couple of weeks ago. Well, it's a bit like the footy season, really. We started with 16. Come Saturday night, there's only going to be one, a bit like now with the Pies. And boy, are they hungry here. Peter Dacos has rejoined me at the set. And
sensational.
What, you just can't choose between the Pies and the pizza?
You've got to get in quick. Don't worry about that.
Did you enjoy your break?
Have this one. Whatever that.
Oh, it looks lovely too. Thank you. I'll keep
yours.
that one. Did you enjoy your break?
Oh.
Hope you were listening to Wolsey and Patrick with their dissemination of the season.
Very interesting.
Speaking of the season, we've been through the other 14 teams. What we're going to do, Dakes, is we're going to have a look at the season in review for the two teams playing in the AFL Grand Final, the 94th AFL Grand Final, by the way, to be played at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And we're going to start with the Bombers, and yet again, well, they looked invincible for most of the season.
Look, terrific. I suppose Kevin Sheedy had that luxury of having 25 players to choose from that are all capable of playing in the 22, and more importantly, you get to this stage a year and probably has half a dozen players all capable of winning the best and fairest.
Let's relive the season that took the Bombers to yet another minor premiership.
At unbackable odds to win back-to-back premierships, Essendon opened the 2001 AFL season with a thumping 85-point win over the Kangaroos.
50 metres out, caresses it through for another one. His fourth.
Port Adelaide's 6-match winning streak came to an end in round 2 as Essendon kicked 6 unanswered goals in the first term.
And then kicks to Fletcher. Fletcher, he's got a second.
In the end, a comfortable 38-point victory. In round 3, Essendon faced arch-rivals Carlton. The war of words began with Carlton president John Elliott.
I thought twerk was pretty low.
John?
I mean, I'm more intelligent. When I read it up in the dictionary, I thought to myself,
Mr. Bean was what you said.
Well, even Danny DeVito, I mean, how small can you... What was that on?
Yeah,
I
suppose I actually had to go to an MCG lunch a couple of days later, and they were all laughing at me because they reckon I make all the other presidents look like geniuses. And there I was sitting between Joseph Gutnick and Eddie Maguire. Gee, I learned a lot.
And you're inside.
Essendon went into the contest as favourites, and when Koutafidis, Bradley and Silvani were all late withdrawals, the Blues were given very little hope. With Carlton still hanging on at three-quarter time, most expected the Bombers to blow the undermanned Blues away down the stretch. In a remarkable fight back, the Blues kicked the last 6 goals of the match to record one of the greatest upsets.
The little gift that got a hand from Lappin, and he's kicked it. There's a point in it. There's something happening here.
Essendon's 31-week reign was over as the undefeated Hawks replaced them on top of the ladder. Adding to the disappointment, Matthew Lloyd was suspended for 1 week as a result of this clash with Michael Mansfield. The Anzac Day tradition continued as Essendon met Collingwood in round 5. When the Pies flew out to a 3-goal lead in the third quarter, it was Paul Barnard to the rescue.
Collingwood are concerned. Oh, high fly with Solomon, couldn't take it. Clement, Solomon in again. Barnard, snapshot, Barnard, goal!
But this classic contest was far from over. With 6 minutes remaining, Collingwood hit back.
You can hear the crowd. What about the finish? But there's runs through, kicks the goal.
Paul Barnard then had the chance to seal the Bombers' hard-fought victory.
He was here last year in the grand final, coming up for his 4th goal in the ensuing 3 quarters.
In round 6, the Eagles visited Colonial Stadium. The Bombers entered the last term holding a commanding 69-point advantage. The only question was, would Lloyd kick 10?
And he's kicking for number 10. So what can he do here? This for his 10th goal on the siren. He's done it. Look at that record. What a way to finish a game with a new record here at Colonial.
Essendon followed up with wins over Richmond and Melbourne. By round 9, the unbeaten Hawks, and not the Bombers, were the pace setters in season 2001. In front of a record Colonial Stadium crowd, Essendon went into the match against Hawthorn, missing 8 premiership players.
I'm really looking to have a huge game, and I think everyone will be watching, everyone's anticipating how good are the Hawks, and are we up to as good as we were last year. So it's a day where you really want to play well.
And Sean Wren gets the first tap, but the Bombers get the first kick, and it's Jason Johnson, who was great last week. Already it's deep in attack. Lloyd, what a start for the Bombers! 2 kicks and a goal.
Lloyd finished with 8 goals straight as the Bombers dislodged the Hawks from top spot.
Just about put your 8th down already. Lloyd from 40.
Working for him.
Not a blemish on the copybook. 8 goals, what a start.
With 4 wins from 9 games, the Lions were looking to match pre-season expectations when they hosted Essendon in Brisbane. In front of a record Gabba crowd, the Lions kicked 7 goals to 2 in the first half to set up their win.
Second goal, and what a goal. Want to see this one again, Jason?
Brilliant.
The final margin, 28 points in favour of the Lions. Fresh from a big win over St Kilda, the Bombers were made to work hard for the points when Adelaide paid them a visit in round 12.
Needs a toe poke. Pepper was the one that got it. Hurd took it off Jarman cleverly. Hurd in the pocket. Still with Jimmy. Can he try a check side? What a goal. How brilliant is all of that?
Lloyd was again magnificent with 6 for the night, giving him 50 for the season.
Continue on. Chick Knights. And also, as Lloyd may kick 6. And also McLeod. What a way to finish. Oh, cream on the cake.
Damien Peveril led the team from the field in his last match before returning to the rookie list. Friday the 6th of July will live long in the memories of every football follower Australia-wide. It was the night pint-sized Gary Moorcroft had the time of his life.
What a mark! Sensational! He's taken the wind out of himself. And why wouldn't he? Because he sucked it in from the stratosphere when he was up there.
The end couldn't come quick enough for the Bulldogs as they suffered a massive 78-point defeat.
Lucas with a long one. Lucas with a big one. A beauty.
Round 16 will always go down as one of the most remarkable in AFL history. The down-and-out Kangaroos gave Essendon the shock of their lives.
And what a kick that is under pressure. Essendon are in front.
It's good to see people that come to a footy game on a Sunday afternoon and think, well, gee, I didn't waste my Sunday afternoon. And I reckon that's the best way you could sell footy to people from overseas or other club supporters.
Essendon's next mission was against Port Adelaide at Football Park. When Scott Lucas scored his 3rd goal late in the game, there was nothing in it.
Shepherd was there. Scores are level.
The next bounce was critical.
Primus and Barnes.
Great bounce.
Centre square, Solomon. Primus superb. Wanganeen to full forward. Treadray's at the back. He's got it. He's taken a beauty. It should be 50.
The Bombers flew back to Melbourne and immediately started to plan their next challenge against Carlton.
Lappin will take the mark. Does he go on? No, he doesn't.
Going for his 5th.
What a kick for Matthew Lappin. He's got it. He's done the job. They lead by 7.
The loss was Essendon's 2nd in a row, the first time that had occurred since round 7 of 1998. It certainly gave the daily newspapers plenty to write about. The concerns only deepened at Bomberland when Matthew Lloyd received a 2-match suspension for striking.
We haven't been shameful, but I think in the end we've got to improve. And I think that we've got a month to get ourselves right.
The undermanned Bombers certainly looked vulnerable against Sydney, who came to Colonial with a 5-game winning streak. In the last roll of the dice, the Bombers had the chance to steal victory.
The time clock is going. 18, 17, 16. Alessio in front. The kick for the ages, and he's kicked it. Bombers in front.
After wins over Collingwood and West Coast, Essendon sprung a selection surprise in the last round by naming Michael Long in the side for the clash against Richmond. The lead changed many times, but you got the feeling the Tigers could do no wrong.
It's a play on at every occasion for the Tigers when they win the ball inside their red. They go short. Richardson is, after kicking the ball to Ottens, has run on, provided a target and was on it. We're watching Matthew Richardson. He's kicked 4. He's kicking from about 40 metres. I tell you what, they're up!
While the Bombers still finished the minor round on top, their 5th loss of the season raised serious questions about their ability to win back-to-back premierships. In the lead-up to the rematch the following week, Danny Frawley was quick to shift all the pre-match focus and favouritism onto the Bombers.
There's no expectation on us. All the pressure's on Essendon.
Third in for the first 2 centre bounces. There he goes.
Gets it again. Goes to Lloyd. Might find him here. Gasper, Rioli. Lloyd's kicked it. He's got 97. Hurd's there. Hurd nearly. Gasper, McVeigh. McVeigh's left foot. Interesting. Ramanaskas not quite. Getting backwards go. Lloyd. Little one. It's a goal. No, it is a goal, but it's not Lloyd. It's Heffernan, I think, or Blumfield or Carosella. Carosella it is.
Gasper's constant tagging began to frustrate Lloyd.
The boundary throw in. Gee, Gasper and Lloyd. And Gasper's upset with Lloyd here. Really upset with him.
To top off a memorable night for the Bombers, Matthew Lloyd brought up his 100th goal of the season.
Looks good. He's done it. He's kicked his 100th at the same time as he did last year. And here they come from everywhere.
Essendon drew away in the final quarter on their way to a 70-point victory. Before Essendon could contest their 2nd consecutive grand final, they had to get past the Hawks. This was finals footy at its best.
But it was Crawford who set it up, and Nick Holland has kicked Hawthorn's 2nd goal.
It was a war of attrition. The Hawks lost Dixon and Barker, while Mark McCurry's day ended early with an ankle injury. Despite more shots on goal, Hawthorn trailed by 8 points at quarter time. The second term belonged entirely to the Bombers. They booted 4 goals 5, while the Hawks could only manage 1 behind. That trend was reversed in the 3rd quarter as the Hawks cut the deficit down to 15 points at three-quarter time.
He's in the pocket, left-hand handball to Crow. Crow goes in tight, Lecker's handball, Barlow goal. They're coming, they are coming a little bit.
Early in the final stanza, the Hawks were running high on emotion.
The blood racing through his veins. He's about 46 metres out. He's timed it pretty well. It's coming back. He's kicked the goal. They keep on coming.
Enter Joe Masiti to kick one of the most important goals of his career.
Solomon back to Smokin' Joe. Smokin' Joe from 50. Lines it up. It's close. He's done it. Smokin' Joe.
Coming off the bench, Ben Dixon then kept the Hawks within reach.
He's got the... Oh, there's a mark. Ben Dixon has just stood there and judged it better than anyone.
Hawthorn's Trent Crowe then had the chance to put his side in front.
Bang! It's going and going and going. It's going. It's hit the post. Unbelievable finish.
Enter Paul Barnard to steady the ship for Essendon.
Rode it well, but gave it to Barnard. Barnard's hooked in kick. It's a goal. It bounced back. He's kicked the goal.
When Lucas kicked his 2nd of the match, the game was safe for the keeping. So was a spot in the grand final.
15 points now the Bombers lead this preliminary final by. Scott Lucas.
So there it was, another stellar season for the Bombers as Harves walks into the studio and makes his presence felt. Yes, good to have him here, and we know when he gets here. And the Bombers 19-5 after 24 matches. They are playing in their 30th grand final and looking for their 17th premiership. We're going to a break now. When we come back, the season in review for the Brisbane Lions.
William Regal.
Join me, the Hooligans and the Bucks and Wenches on Superstars of Wrestling, the WWF on C7 Sport.
Okay, yeah, this is my scene coming up next. I'm not that guy. That wasn't me. There, on the left. That's the one, holding the spear. That's me.
It's just a shoulder. It could be anybody's shoulder.
Quick, Jeremy's.
I do not beg. I demand it.
See, there's me.
It is you! Mwah.
Philips widescreen.
Oh, sweetie.
The new shape of TV.
When you go to ADFA, you are joining the Defence Force, but it's not just the leadership training. I mean, I'm studying physics and I've got friends studying IT and management and engineering. So in the end, we'll all have fully recognised civilian degrees.
So you love your motorsport? Then get into Australia's leading motorsport program, Checkered Flag. Every week we bring you the hottest local and international action from on and off the road. 4 wheels, 2 wheels, the speed, the power, the skills, the spills. If it moves in motor racing, you'll see it on Checkered Flag, Tuesday night on C7 Sport. It's the world game. Football. And a brilliant strike. Catch the European Football Show for the latest news, results and highlights from the European competitions. From England, Italy, Spain, even Turkey and Greece. We've got all the action covered. Unbelievable! Oh, superb goal. Drives in the shot. Ew, what a goal that was! The European Football Show, Wednesday night on C7 Sports.
Was in front, almost got crushed. Brilliantly done to Brown. Brown with a standing start. Kicks it on the line. Spears it to Ackerman. Acker will go into Gord's goal and say, how easy is this? That is a goal. To Ackermanis. Drops it just for the crowd, probably. Might kick one, will he? From 55. Does he go all the way? He does! Acker celebrates like no one else can.
And he celebrated the other night. The 2001 Brownlow medalist Jason Ackermanis, the first player, incidentally, to wear the number 12 Guernsey to win the Brownlow medal. Welcome back to C7's live coverage of our special preview of the 2001 AFL Grand Final. Mark Harvey and Dermot Brereton still to come as we take you through until 9 o'clock tonight. So still 2 big hours. If you're just coming back in from work, we'll be looking at the game from all angles and especially, of course, the teams which we'll be through very shortly. Well, Brisbane, they go into their first grand final in search of their first premiership after winning 19 of their 24 games, 17-5 in the regular season, and then victories in the first and third weeks of the finals. Let's recap what has been a great year for the boys from Brisbane.
The Brisbane Lions season didn't get off to a great start.
30 metres, and that's it. Port Adelaide have won a premiership, an Ansett Cup premiership in the AFL.
In the Ansett Cup Grand Final, the Lions only managed a total of 3 goals, as Port demolished them by 85 points. The result had most experts reassessing their pre-season predictions. Returning to Football Park for round 1, Lions and Port fought out a seesawing battle. Although the Lions came back in the last quarter, the Power held on to win by 6 points. In round 2, Brisbane registered its first win of the season when they hosted the Kangaroos at the Gabba.
And who could turn a game in seconds. Lynch, beautifully done. Here's another one. This is Leopard's number 2. That was too easy.
After Richmond defeated the Lions in round 3, the Lions found themselves 10th on the ladder with just 1 win.
Here's Bowden then. Just be icing on the cake for the Tigers. What a kick from Joel Bowden.
Our greatest problem as a team is we're overrated.
By the media or the footy public? Or?
I don't care if the media is the footy public. Footy public wouldn't know what the footy public think. All I know is what I read in the papers. And we are one of the bunch of teams that are trying to get up to the top couple. And I don't think we feel we're inferior to that bunch of teams. Richmond are one of them. There's 8 or 10 of us. But I mean, really, it's it's a bit like clutching straws, which is going to be at the end of the 6-month campaign. I mean, I know everybody has to make their pre-season predictions, but we've got a lot of work to do to prove that we're anywhere near the top couple.
The Lions were far from the team expected to challenge Essendon for the 2001 Premiership, and their woes extended to round 4 against the Western Bulldogs. Hudson kicked 8 goals as the Bulldogs thrashed the Lions by 53 points.
England, we have the Hudson. He's going to kick another one. Yes, he is.
Heading into round 5, the Lions had just one more win than their next opponents, Fremantle. The Dockers totally shocked the Lions with a blistering 6-goal opening term.
It was poor. Pavlich recovers. A second effort from outside 50. Big kick. He's kicked a goal.
It took a record-breaking final quarter to produce the desired result.
Or will he get tired? Goes towards the goal square. No one there. Needs a good bounce. He's going to get a good bounce. Another goal!
After further wins in round 6 and 7, the Lions faced Carlton, a man on a mission.
Cooler said, get out of the way, Michael Voss. Takes a mark, charges towards goal, kicks it!
Carlton's 74-point winners, handing Brisbane its 3rd loss in 3 matches in Victoria for the year. Returning to the Gabba in round 9, the result against Adelaide came down to the last kick of the match.
It has to go in excess of 60 metres in distance. Didn't get it. No, not quite. So the win is there for Adelaide.
By round 10, the Bombers had clearly established themselves as premiership favourites. With their season on the line, the Lions needed to turn the corner. What better way to do it than against the might of Essendon?
Again, Ackermanis might do it on his own. Which way will this one wobble? Oh, Lynchy! Lynchy! He falls again, but he's kicked it. It doesn't matter.
The victory over last year's premiers signalled the start of an amazing run. After wins over West Coast, Melbourne and Hawthorn, the Lions' winning streak extended to 5 when they defeated St Kilda.
Don't tell me he's kicked that. Don't tell me he's kicked that.
Straight after the 57-point victory, Lee Matthews was preempting the next trip to Melbourne.
I know what the less creative of the media will be doing this week. They'll be coming up with the record in Melbourne that Brisbane have had over our 15 years in the competition. Well, that's the absolute. That means absolutely nothing, because history in footy is really what's happened the last month.
There was plenty to play for in round 15. Adding to the spice, Collingwood coach Michael Malthouse attacked the AFL and its funding of interstate clubs and urged Magpie fans to make the MCG as hostile and uncomfortable as possible for the Queensland visitors. Brisbane's 3 goals, 8 in the 3rd term, kept the Magpies well within reach.
Chance for Malloy using Ryan Loney. He's trying to get around into his left boot. Nick Davis, standing start, pumped the legs, got the ball moving and got it on line.
When Simon Black kicked his 3rd for the day, Brisbane had recorded one of its most important victories in recent history.
Black. So easy. It's a training drill for the Lions.
After a slow start to the season, Brisbane wanted to extract revenge on Port Adelaide in round 16.
Bradshaw kicks immediately and with purpose. Look at Lynch!
Lynch finished with 4, as the Lions' 7th consecutive win moved them up into 2nd spot on the ladder. With 4 games remaining, Brisbane were looking to secure 2nd spot when they hosted Richmond. Things were certainly going to plan, with the Lions leading by 51 points at the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
And he does, off to Lappin. Lappin gives it away to Black. Black's coming into his own in the 2nd half. He just piled on a goal, and so do the Lions.
But the Tigers bit back with 9 of the next 11 goals.
He wants something to kick to.
After being held goalless in the 1st half, Richardson made his mark.
Running hard, Tawney. Richmond inside their forward 50. Richardson, Lepage arrives, just does enough. Richo recovers, gets around. Can he finish it off? He can! Richo's got 4!
The captain sealed the victory in true Boss style.
Can he make a definitive statement here at the Gabba? He can. It's a goal.
In round 20, the Lions set a new club record by winning its 11th consecutive match.
Yes, going to stand the mark to Black, who chips inside the 50. Hart's got it now, and he'll kick another goal.
After a victory in Geelong, Brisbane entered the last round, needing the win over Sydney to guarantee 2nd spot on the ladder. The Lions managed 7 goals to 4 in the second half to run out 31-point winners.
That's easier said than done to get a goal in these conditions.
Correct.
Kennelly. Oh, lapped and stole it. Can he go all the way? Open goal square. It'll skid through. This is a big kick. Oh, Nigel Lappin, celebrate. That's a big goal.
It was another clear display of dominance by Brisbane's midfield, regarded now as the best in the competition.
We just couldn't chase them all, you know. Just can't chase them all. We've got too many of them, so much better than Essendon, mate. Yeah.
Are they the best, though? Are they the best you've come across?
Yeah, they are. I think they are the best midfield. Port Adelaide and Brisbane, I'd say, are the 2 best midfields.
Brisbane's finals campaign started with the second qualifying final against Port Adelaide. And despite dominating the early play, the Lions were wasteful in front of goal. Meanwhile, Port were making the most of their scoring opportunities.
Now kicks towards Corns. Right with him again, White. A push. Against White.
Good finish.
And Port Adelaide hit the front with the advantage. Josh Franco.
After the break, Brisbane got their game together with a 5-goal turn.
He's a left-footer, Black. He does finish very well. Wanganeen is a great chaser. Black curls it back. It's there. He puts to the crowd and the Lions get another.
With Port Adelaide only managing just the 1 goal in the second half, Brisbane finished strongly to record a 32-point victory.
Tapped it to the advantage of Brad Scott. Tough kick. Tough kick. Great kick. Unbelievable goal by Brad Scott.
Unfortunately, Alistair Lynch wouldn't be playing in the preliminary final after receiving a 1-match suspension for striking Port fullback Darryl Wakeland. In the biggest game in the club's 15-year history, Brisbane took on Richmond in the preliminary final. The Tigers took it up to the Lions early.
Kellaway has some support in Cameron. So often sets things up, or the 1-2 work.
Good hands.
2-3, they're away now. Zilla with some space. To the wing, to the lead at centre-half forward. Good kick, good mark, Broderick. Where's Ottens and Richardson? Broderick quickly getting it moving. To Shepard. Loads. And how's that for the Tigers? And how's that for a goal?
After 19 minutes, scores were level, but then began the Lions' attack.
Going to be forced onto the left. Pike from 55. Long and high in towards full forward. There's plenty of holding on going on there. It's socket off the ground. Now it's picked up by Black, and he kicks. He kicks.
Down by 2 goals at quarter time, the Tigers simply had no counter-attacks to employ.
Kick has got a lot of height on it. It's dangerous. Oh, Power got crunched. The advantage will be played here. Keating scoops it up. No one chasing from 30 metres. Oh, great finish by Keating.
And he decided to go straight down the middle, just as Power does. Notting's at the back, and he marks 55 metres from home.
Just about think he could make the distance from there.
Let's see what he can do in his 51st game. Notting. Lovely looking kick. Oh, this is a magnificent kick.
A 6-goal second term gave the hosts a commanding 38-point lead at half-time.
Towards Voss. Clever kick again. Excellent play. Voss, go all the way, and he does. Michael Voss kicks his second.
Richmond could only manage 1 goal in the third quarter as the Lions did as they liked. Jonathan Brown had 4 goals by three-quarter time.
Voss inside 50, Brown. Copeland was in front, almost got crunched, taken by Power. Brilliantly done to Brown. Brown for the standing start. Kicks another one for the Brisbane Lions.
To Ackermanis. Drops it just for the crowd, probably.
Might kick one, will he?
From 55. Does he go all the way? He does! Acker celebrates.
The Lions afforded the luxury of resting some of its stars as they booked their place in the 2001 Grand Final.
Yes, a magnificent grand final coming up, first versus second. Let's have a look at the head-to-head records of these 2 teams. They've played on 21 occasions, and it's 16-5 in favour of the Bombers. Since 1997, the record is 5-1. Essendon won 5 in a row, and then Brisbane won their last meeting. That was earlier this season in round 10. Interestingly, Brisbane has never beaten Essendon in Melbourne. 4 times they've met at the MCG, once at Optus Oval, 3 times at Windy Hill, a total of 8 meetings, and they are yet to beat the Bombers down here in Melbourne. And for the record, the MCG record of the 2 teams throughout the year, Bombers were 8-3, Lions 1-1, Brisbane has played 41 matches at the MCG and they've won just 6 of them, but they did overcome Collingwood in the latter part of the year. Hope you're enjoying our preview of the 2001 AFL Grand Final live around Australia on C7 Sport. When we come back after the break, the marks and the goals of the year.
Final fever on C7 Sport.
Champagne football.
16 hours of action, back to back. Featuring some of the greatest clashes of all time. A fitting lead-up to our live coverage of the 2001 Grand Final. The stars, those unforgettable moments. AFL Grand Final fever, Friday afternoon from 3 on C7 Sport.
You are charged with violation of Public Act 31428, Volume 37 of the State Code, which makes it unlawful for any teacher of the public schools to teach any theory that denies the creation of man as taught in the Bible, and to teach instead that man has descended from a lower order of animals.
In 1925, religious thought was taught and not questioned.
What are you trying to prove anyway?
That life comes from a long miracle. It didn't just happen in 7 days.
Until he took a stand and opened up an emotional debate.
There's only one man in this town who knows how to think, and he's in jail.
God did not create man. Man created God. An idea is a greater monument than a cathedral. Does right have no meaning? Truth has meaning.
Emmy Award nominee Beau Bridges and Golden Globe Award winner Jack Lemmon star in Inherit the Wind. Now showing on Movie One.
The CUB AFL 2001 Grand Final. And you'll see all the pre-match entertainment, followed by the big game live Saturday from 1 on C7 Sport.
Look at that.
Essendon are out to make it back-to-back titles.
Champagne football.
For Brisbane, their first chance to grab the ultimate glory. All the excitement, all the action. The CUB AFL 2001 Grand Final live on C7.